Oh boy. Alright, so it's gonna be a doozy tonight. It'll be fun though. It'll be a tutorial I've been meaning to do for a while for a lot of people. It's basically talking about my workflow. And it's a good tutorial because I'm hoping a lot of people will watch it and it will help people understand how to create a mesh in Blender and put collision on it and put it in the creation kit for their own mod. Hey, what's going on, Speedy? Welcome to chat. I'm gonna be doing a huge tutorial tonight. So yeah. But I plan to, at the end of this tutorial, after I get done with Twitch, I'm going to chop this video up and I'm going to put it on YouTube as the general idea. How you been, by the way, Speedy? Let me know if the music's too loud, because I'm going to have some spooky tunes playing in the background for the Halloween season. Oh, I've noticed you're having a blast with AI. I'm excited to get into 3D modeling with it. I'll probably look at, if you want to throw links up, you could probably throw some stuff up in the Discord, but I want to try to focus on this tutorial tonight. But if you have questions, go ahead and ask, or if you've got some cool stuff to post, go ahead, brother. I'm trying to think on where to start. So, before I get into the tutorial, I'm going to wait a little bit until we get some more people coming in. Got it trained on Studio Ghibli now. That's awesome. The stuff you're probably creating with that has to be pretty cool. Seriously. By the way, I have, I don't want to say I've figured it out, but I have a good workflow idea on how to implement new creatures, new behaviors, and new skeletons. I have the general idea. Also found tutorials. There's tutorials out there from like 11 years ago about how to do this stuff. But they're like, when I look at like the view count on these tutorials or the subscription count, like they're small. But this is in a time period where like tutorials on YouTube were that much of a big thing. I feel like, yeah. I found tutorials on how to use the like original. There's probably some bugs and kinks in it because even though there's tutorials on it, I feel like someone probably would have researched this and put it out there already. Because Skywind and Sky Oblivion have been doing research on this stuff for a long time. And I've talked to quite a few of those guys about how to do some of this stuff. And some of the tools are still... They're developing a lot of the tools, like outsourced third-party tools that... like updated stuff. Because Skyrim SE doesn't use, or they don't have a lot of tools because it's special edition. I do. I'm gonna, before I go posting all these links though, I'll probably send you some of the links. Before I go posting like all these links. I'll send you some of the links, but before I go posting all these links in the Discord, before I get a bunch of questions being asked, I want to like actually create a workflow, and I want to lay out all the research that I've found. I haven't done any type of implementation of the actual skills yet, so I want to do that first. Kind of like with what I'm doing tonight, I want to get a general like understanding of everything. That's true. A lot of research has, like, especially with the Skyrim team, they are the only. So the reason why I feel like they're withholding a lot of their research is because they want to make sure there's a solid, easy workflow to understand it, so they don't get bombarded by a bunch of questions. They want to generally know how to do it and how to explain it to people before they release their workflow. I've talked to quite a few of them, like 3 or 4 people, and they're still trying to figure out the proper way to go about it. Because it goes much deeper than just animation. It goes animation, the behaviors, which is basically the character controller or the NPC controller, and how the character communicates to the creation kit into the game engine, and it all clicks with a project file, and that project file is what's linked to the behaviors. That project file is what's connected to the creation kit, and it's set with like these events on basically how the animations are set to events into the creation kit, with certain things that happen, and then an AI script is attached to that, which the AI scripts are in the creation kit. I thought there was all this stuff that was hard coded. No, it's not hard coded. If it's I think I did see this. Oh yeah, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was pretty cool. Especially like you can now do these mods that have collision based, or these mods that change like height of a lot of the creatures and stuff and make them bigger and stuff. That's really needed for that. I know. I agree. I completely agree. So, like, where are we at right now? We got... who's all watching? Lurky, Speedy. Surprised, I'm surprised Tony's not in here. Hey, Lurky, I see you lurking in the background. I would stream this to, Discord tonight, but the only issue with that is I don't want to be jumping in between the Discord and Twitch right now, just because like I got a lot to talk about tonight with this tutorial. Right, I haven't heard from Alfredi in a while. I can't even remember what the hell they changed their name to. What did Alfredi change their name to? Hey, Lurky. Wouldn't miss the wealth of information. There's too much information. I know what information you want. No, I agree. Lurky has been, or not Lurky, but Alfredi has been MIA for a while. Way too long. The good news, so the other good news that I have tonight is, so what I got going on in the creation kit right now. Oh yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, by the way. Oh wait, no, I don't think I've seen that one yet. Oh, this is Studio Ghibli. Yeah, I thought that was really cool with the one that you sent me with the sketch. That one's really cool. I like that. So the good news is what I'm currently doing in the creation kit, outside of talking about the mod tonight or the workflow, is I've been cleaning it up because I'm getting ready to export my last couple of NIFs files from this, and I should be able to, after I polish up all the NIFs, I'll have, or the 3D models, after I finish, like I'll be able to finish, or I'll be able to have all the 3D models I'm going to use for the beta after I finish this last export. But I still have to finish, and what I mean by finish is polish all the 3D models up. So that's the really good news. Trying to... So I'm trying to figure out, well, I guess I'm going to start talking about this then. Let's see. Alright, so basically where I want to start with this is, forgive my spelling, we're not starting in the creation kit, okay? So it says start creation kit. So here's my workflow, okay? I advise people to get MO2, which is Mod Organizer, and I'm going to include the links in the YouTube video once I publish it. So I highly advise people to get Mod Organizer. It can be found on the Nexus. So Mod Organizer is really good. You're going to highly want this because you can choose what mods you, what load order your mods are going to be in very easily. There's tutorials through Gamers Poet. He's an excellent person to talk to or get advice from about tutorials. The tools, I'm going to list all the tools you're going to need for this. Okay? Of course, my spelling's probably horrible, so don't judge me. I should have went through that and checked. So the tools you're going to need are the BSA extraction, which is, I'll show you that. So you need the BSA extraction, you need Skyrim creation kit, you need NIF scope, you need Cathedral optimizer, you need Blender and the Blender NIF tools. Let's see. You also need NIF utility suite. And you need dyndolod is the biggest one. So dyndolod's the biggest one, and that's what we're really gonna talk about, is how important that program is to this workflow. If you don't know how to 3D model, it's really cool that you can use dyndolod in this way. And we're gonna talk about where to start. So first thing I want to talk about is the two different forms of Skyrim. So the first Skyrim that was released was a 32-bit format game, right? So it looks like this. The file typing, hey Zopher, what's going on? So the file typing for a 32-bit mesh in that game is, it starts with knee tri shape. Right? So this is really important because a lot of the tools that we're going to use only work on 3D models from that time period. Like they're just developed for that version of the game. That's just how it currently is. So you have to de-optimize the SSE meshes back to that. So you have to go from 64-bit down to 32-bit. You have to downgrade them. So currently the 64-bit looks like this. They look very similar, but if you look over here on the left, it says BS tri-shape. So you have knee tri-shape and BS tri-shape. So this is BS tri-shape. This is the bullshit. I'm playing. So BS tri-shape is the 64-bit file type for these meshes. If you click this little red bouncy ball up here, you'll see the collision for this barrel, right? So this program I'm using to look at these 3D models is it's called NifScope. All right. So NifScope is going to be one of the programs that you want as well. Let me jump over to my window here. NifScope is going to be, and I'm going to put all the links up for this stuff. Right here. So this is NifScope. It allows you to view the 3D models from Bethesda, including like Fallout and stuff. All right. So again, you're going to need NifScope, Cathedral Optimizer, Asset Optimizer. You can get off of the Nexus. You're going to need Blender. You're going to need Blender NIF tools. Right. Where is it at? Right here. Blender NIF tools. Let's click on this instead. So Blender NIF tools you're going to need. So if you want to like download something from here, right, from GitHub, and again, I'll put the links in. Some people get confused by this. So you're just going to go over to releases, right? And it's going to be in here. And you're going to go to the bottom, right? So you're going to do that. All right. Mm-hmm. So you're not kicked out of the server, Zofra. Anyways, that was a server. So Gamer Poets does great tutorials. So the big thing with this is you need to use dyndolod for this process. I'm going to show you. You're going to go to the Nexus, and you're going to download dyndolod, right? And Gamer Poets, oh, that's loud. Gamer Poets is going to help you set that up. Right here. So Gamer Poets is going to help you set that up, right? He's going to help you do that. After you do that, actually, he's going to help you set up MO2 and dyndolod. After you get to that, that's where we're going to start, okay? Because if I was to go through all of that, we'd be here for about 8 hours. Not really, but it'd be here for a while. So basically, after you set up dyndolod and mod organizer, we need to look at our Skyrim BSAs, right? I would suggest when you install Skyrim, you create a shortcut to your desktop of that folder location. I have one right here, right? This is in my Steam's folder. But so BSAs are kind of like the compacted data of the game's meshes, right? So let's say I want to look at the Skyrim meshes 0.bsa. I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to throw it on my desktop for now, right? Or in a new folder. Okay, I'm going to throw it in here. You want to copy it. You don't want to necessarily, some people do, they'll unpack their stuff in the Skyrim folder. But these meshes we're going to be editing, right? So, and that's where you want to get the Cathedral optimization tool, asset optimization tool. The reason why is, I have it already right here. We're going to open this, we're going to run it. We're going to open our folder that we just made, which is our new folder. We're going to select that folder. And we're going to select the game. We have SSE up here. We want to extract BSA. No, I don't want to delete source files. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And we're going to run that. I don't know why I did that. Did it do it? No, it didn't do it. Oh, that's going for folder 20. It's a wrong directory. That's why. Oopsie. Desktop. Oopsie. There it goes. So our folder now is being unpacked. All of our meshes are being shown, is what's happening right now. Okay. So like we can go in here and we can now look at these meshes. With NIF scope. I don't know what the hell this is, but yeah, you can look at it now. So this is our geometry. Okay. And then this is our collision, is the red. Our collision's what interacts with the player. If this didn't have collision, the red, you'd be able to walk straight through this. Like the mesh can show up in game with the texture and everything, but you'd be able to walk straight through this. But with the red on there, you can actually hit it, touch it, feel it, do whatever you need to it, blah 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 blah. So we're gonna exit that. We're gonna bring this down. All right, so after you have your meshes, so I want you to go through and extract all of your mesh BSAs. I want you to make copies, then extract them in a new folder. And after you do that, you're going to search those folders. You can use the search bar for this. And you're going to look for a mesh called barrel01. Okay? We're going to take this file. You're going to create a new folder. You're going to call it conversions folder. You're going to put your barrel folder in here. Don't mind the 32-bit, right? So here, we'll just do this anyways. So we'll delete that. So you're going to take a copy of your barrel folder, or file, mesh. You're going to put it in here, paste it. Okay? And then you're going to jump on to your asset optimizer again. Let me exit out of this real quick. I'll show you what this is. That's just the file, Speedy. That's just how Bethesda set it up. I don't know why. Wish this would close. Come on. There it goes. Okay. All right. Let me exit these. Where were we? Okay, so our conversion folder. We copied and pasted our barrel in here. So this has not been converted yet, right? I'm going to convert it so we can use it in a majority of our tools. So we're going to use Cathedral Asset Optimizer. We're going to run the XE. We're going to search for, actually, one first thing. You're going to go to Profile. You're going to click TES5. Okay, not SSE, TES5. That's the Elder Scrolls 5. You're going to click on Meshes where it said BSA for the tab. You can click on Meshes. You're going to open directory. You're going to find your conversions folder. Right here. Now, with that, let's see. You can do full optimization if you want. We can do that. So basically, we're going to downgrade. I'm just going to do necessary. We're going to downgrade that mesh to a 32-bit. So we're going to run this. It's done already. We're going to go to our conversion folder. We're going to look at this, right? So here's our 32-bit nitri shape barrel, right? So we have all this stuff in here, right? We want it to look like this. we want to get it to look like this. If you look over here in the pane, we only have the BSX flags and the collision, and the rigid body and the fade node. The reason why we want it to get like this is because this is how we're going to add collision later to our meshes. Okay? So, how we're going to do that, you're just going to click on the knee tri-shape. You're going to press Control Delete. Press that little red bouncy ball up there. You have your bouncy ball. And now you have this. That gives you the collision and stuff. Hey Viv, how you doing? And you're going to save as template. I already have one, so I'm not going to save as. Put it somewhere where you know where it's going to be. I would actually create like a tools folder and create a template folder, to be honest. So you're going to rename that file template. So it should look like template like this. All right, should look like that. I could delete that because don't follow that. I'm just deleting it because I already have it somewhere else. I don't need a bunch of stuff on my desktop to confuse everybody. Alright. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to delete this, because all you need is this, right? Okay. We've gotten this far. The next biggest program that you're going to want is NIF Utility Suite. So, you want to go grab that. You can Google search it. It's on AFK mods as well. You can also find it here. And again, you're going to go down to, oh, it's not in here. Actually, it should be here. Go to NIF Utilities. Probably going to have to get it from AFK mods. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to get it from AFK mods. Most likely you're going to have to go create an account and download it from here. Okay? You could probably find it other places too online. Let's see. So it looks like Arcane University has one on here as well. Yeah. So. Oh, yep. It takes you right to this one. So yeah, just create an account, download it from AFK mods. They have it there. Okay. So after that, you want to run it. Okay. You're going to go to chunk merge. We're going to set this up real quick. Here's your template, right? So that's going to be your template. You have to find, that's going to be, you're going to link that to where your template is. So your textures are going to be in your Skyrim data. And if you unpacked your textures, you could unpack your textures the same way with the optimization tool. You could point it then into the texture folder. And that would be that directory. This file is highly, highly important. So the NIF .nif XML file is what tells the game what the effects of the collision type, if it's wood, metal, stairs. So basically this is the file that tells you like, hey, you can run up this item if it's stairs. So you need to find that, and that's going to be in your NIF scope folder. You'll have to dig for it. So when you download NIF scope, you're going to look for that nif.xml file, right? And you're going to open that with that link. You're going to get that file directory. Same with NIF scope. You want to point this at the exe. So you have to set all this up, okay? You don't really have to worry about the input output. That's for something else. We're just using this for chunk merge, okay? And we'll get more into this. So I'll explain what happens when you load your XML or .xml file in. It'll load all this data down here. So it'll load like the wood, the rock, the metal, stuff like that, right? And when you go to put a collision on stuff later, this is what you can choose only one. So if you have like one object and it's rock and the whole mesh is going to be rock, then you can choose just the one collision style. But if you're going to have multiple collision effects, you're going to click name of tri-shape. And I'll explain how we set that up in a little bit. Let me look at chat here real quick. Oh, welcome back from the dentist, Viv. Okay, so after we get all of that set up, so we have the suite NIF scope, we have the cathedral asset optimizer. You need to download Blender and the NIF utilities for Blender, which again will be on GitHub. If you Google this, it will pop up. Blender you're going to get from Blender. You're going to get, where is it? NIF tools. So NIF tools, you can search NIF tools. It's going to be Blender NIF tools add-on right here, right? You're going to go to the releases. It'll explain everything right here. It'll also tell you how to install it right here with these little GIFs. Okay, you'll click on this, put that file somewhere where you know where it's at, because the way you're going to install it is you're going to go to File, or actually Edit. You're going to drop down to Preferences right here, and you're going to go to Install. You're going to find where you put that. Here, I'll show you how to actually set this up. So let me download it so I can actually point at it and say, hey, this is what you do. So we're going to download this. All right. I'm going to minimize this. Create a new folder. You can put this in Tools and call it Tools. Just be a lot more organized than me. We're going to cut this. I'm going to go back to my tools. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to extract it here. 7-zip, or you can just use Windows RAR. Works too. Extract files. I'm going to put it here. Okay, so you have this, right? Actually, you could have left that zip. My bad. You're supposed to leave that zipped. Don't delete the zip file. Alright. So you're going to go to Edit, Preferences, Install. You're going to find that folder where you put it, which I think it's in here. You're going to click on it. So it's going to say Blender NIF Tools add-on blah 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 .zip. You're going to install add-on. Right? And it's going to look like this. It's going to say Import, Export, Net Immersive Gamebryo Format Support. And click that box. And if you don't have the right version of Blender, on the Blender website, they have older versions of Blender that will work with whatever NIF tools you can find on the internet. Okay? And for you to import NIFs into Blender, they have to be the 32-bit Skyrim mesh. They can't be SSE mesh. They're currently working on a way to import the SSE ones, but it's still buggy. Okay? They're still having issues with that. But it's better currently to work in the Skyrim format. You can later change your mesh back to the 64-bit. You could change it. You can upgrade it. There's a way to do that, and I'm going to show you. It's using the same tool, just in reverse. All right. So if you want to say like let's bring in a mesh, right? I'm going to grab that barrel that I deleted earlier. Okay. We're just going to restore it. So here's our barrel. We got our barrel back, right? It's 32-bit. We're gonna put it into Blender. I delete usually everything because it's like a force of habit. You're gonna bring an import. You're gonna go to NIF. You're gonna go to desktop, wherever you put that mesh that you're working on. You're gonna go to import. Bam, right spanking there. Okay, there's your flipping barrel. Your collision's not going to get imported in. I think there's a way to create collision in Blender and work with it, but I'm not too experienced with that. So I'm used to doing collision the old way, and this way works. It's a good way, okay? So that's how you get your Skyrim meshes into Blender, and there's tutorials on YouTube on how to work with all that, okay? I just wanted to get through that to get onto the dyndolod part. Now, after you've watched Gamer Poets on how to set up dyndolod 3 using that and having the scripts installed, you're going to run text gen. There, stop. Don't go beyond that yet. You can go further to practice and mess around with it, but just run text gen. You can stop after that and then jump back over here. Or you can, I would actually advise watch the whole video through to understand the whole process. Okay? So, after you do that, you need the creation kit. You have the creation kit installed. You have it all going through MO2, I hope. There's a way to do it, and I'll show you how to do that with MO2. Let's say you have MO2 installed. You're going to go up to the tools up here. You're going to go, actually no, you're going to go to edit right here. This drop down, you're going to click on edit. You're going to click that little plus sign. Basically it's going to say, hey, I want to add a new file. You're going to find the exe that you're going to have in this drop down, and it's going to grab that, and you can run it through here. You're going to also, you can choose it this way too. You're going to put apply and then okay. There's a couple other ways. Gamer Poets will go over this. So, alright. So, the reason why I want to use dyndolod for this is you can export meshes from the creation kit or your Skyrim game. Let's say if you've created a mod. If you've created a mod and you've combined all these meshes with all these smaller static objects, and I'll give you an example, right? I'm going to run creation kit. I see you, Speedy, talking about me being organized over there. We're just going to open Skyrim. Okay. Okay. And if you're working on a new mod and you save it, your saved ESP is going to be down here in the override folder. You're just going to say, hey, right click if there's something in there, and you would have the option to create a mod, and you would name it. It'd have the ESP that you saved from working in the creation kit in there, as long as you're going through Mod Organizer 2 to run the creation kit. Okay. Okay, that's in there. Let's say I go to, I don't know, Whiterun. Okay. Or we'll go to Tamriel. We'll go to Tamriel because Tamriel exports better. Tamriel World Space is probably the best way to export anything. If you build something in the Whiterun World Space, it's really hard to actually get it to export. So you could copy everything, and I'll show you, and then paste in place with if there's something in Whiterun that you want. So let's find this world space or this area. Oh. It took me a minute to realize. Oh my god. Alright. So, let's say, I don't know, let's say you build something with the shack kit from the game, right? A lot of people do this. A lot of people build something with this, right? So you have these, I'll show you, I'll preview. You have all these little pieces. Wow, that's like right up on it. Jeez. Preview. There we go. So you have all these little pieces, right? These little objects. When people use these to make like houses or buildings or all this stuff, right? What it does is it creates an issue to where you have a lot of object files. And it bogs down the game when the game has to load each object file individually. So what a lot of people will do, they'll make their own meshes out of these objects. And they'll build it within NifScope, which takes forever. Or they'll do, like, they'll upload each mesh into Blender and they'll put them together meticulously in Blender, then export it as an entire NIF from there. That's one way to do that, but it also, again, takes forever. Going through this tutorial, it's going to be long, but after you finish it, the workflow will be exponentially sped up for exporting and putting together meshes, because you could just put them together within the creation kit, export the entire file or mesh out, and then edit the whole thing together already in Blender. So like, let's say you build a house or something out here with this shack kit, right? I'm going to throw a couple things out here. We're going to just throw all this crap out here, right? So all this stuff is now out here, okay? We built something with it. I'm going to delete it. By the way, you can hide things by pressing 1, and you can press delete to delete stuff. Now, I would highly suggest that the mod that you delete stuff in is your mesh creation mod. Don't make that an official mod because it'll cause a lot of issues the moment you start deleting stuff. You can run a script from SSE Edit to restore it, but it's called cleaning your mods. There's a reason, but if I get into that reason, you can ask me offline if I can go into that reason. I'll tell you the reason why you want to go about that. So, okay. So let's say, I don't know, like let's say we got Whiterun here, right? Let's say I want to export the city of Whiterun. We have all these walls in here, right? And your mesh, if you have a mod you want to export like a house from, that mod has to be active, okay? So let's say we want to export the city of Whiterun. Let me show you a couple things. All right, so you double click on an object, go to Edit Base. It'll tell you the location of that mesh and what the name of that mesh is. It's actually kind of important for dyndolod. The reason I say that is, let's minimize this, and I'll run dyndolod, and I'll tell you. Go to SSE, start dyndolod. UDRs, right? What do you mean UDRs, Viv? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's your reference. So if like one mod interacts with that mod, or let's say you have two mods, and one mod the object's deleted, and the other mod it exists, you'll get a CTD in a lot of cases, because they're looking, one mod's looking for that reference and it doesn't exist anymore because one mod deleted it and the other one needs that one to operate. So this is already set to Tamriel. You could choose different world spaces up here. My dyndolod is set to expert. I highly suggest you do activate that, to activate that, you're going to find the folder you installed dyndolod into, which is tools for me, for my D drive. D drive. Anyways, I put it right here. You're going to go into edit scripts, dyndolod SSE. It should be, yeah. So you're gonna click on your file, your any file. You're gonna set 1 for expert, LOD gen options, and advanced mode disables wizard automatically. So you're gonna set expert to 1 right here. It's gonna be 0 when you look at this, but you want to set that to 1, and you're gonna file save. That's how you get it in expert mode. That's gonna allow this specific chunk over here to pop up. So we have this set to Tamriel, right? So before we go exporting our meshes from the creation kit so you can edit them, we have to set rules. So what I mean by that, dyndolod was originally set up in a way to create new LODs. LODs are the load distant objects, or load objects distance, or yeah. It's basically a lower res object of the object mesh that you're looking in that's full scale in game. So basically the further away you are, you can see, like, let's say city in the distance, but it ain't the actual full mesh because it would bog your game down and make it slower, make it run slower. So they make a lower resolution mesh for that to render, and you can see it in the distance. Sometimes it's even 2D. It's just an image in some cases. But this tool was made to create LODs for new, like, meshes that were created, higher detailed meshes that run better. It's a really good tool, and Xion did a really great job with this. But this tool also can be used in this way, and I'll show you what I mean. So to get it to do what we want, let me lower the volume on this music. To get it to do what you want for exporting these meshes, full meshes, what you want to do is, let's say, I don't know, you looked at this, you want to export this, but if you were to export it with dyndolod right now, it would just be a lower res version of this. You want the highly poly version of this mesh. You want to understand the naming scheme of this. What I mean by that, it's like in a folder called architecture or Whiterun. So you have to play around with this, which can be really annoying, but you want to use those names. We got to create a rule for this, right? So we'll go back to dyndolod. You're going to right click, you're going to go to insert, or you can edit. I advise insert, right? So we have this window that popped up. I got to look at my notes for this. So give me a second. So I talked to Xion. When was it? A while back. Huh. I'll go. Should be step mods. Let's do this over here. I don't know why it's got me kicked out. I'll just explain it. So we'll just use a pre-existing rule. I'll show you how to set it up. So, like stockades, right? So your meshes are usually named something, all something, right? So you're gonna do like stockade or Whiterun walls or Whiterun, right? You're gonna click like this. You're gonna basically set it up exactly like this. Visible when distance. You can also put like the form ID in here of that mesh, or the location of that mesh. The form ID of that can be found right. I'll show you where that can be found. form ID is usually right here. Sometimes it will have another ID number right here. So I believe it's one of these two numbers is the form ID. You can also see it over here in the object window. It'll tell you the form ID as well of that object. The cell view. That's the object window. I'm messing up over here. We'll go back to dyndolod. So you can put that there, or you can just put this name. This takes a lot of playing around to get to work. There's a quicker method I'm going to show you. So your LODs are set up in distance, right? So level 4 is your closer, lower res model. 16 is your furthest one. So they have 3 models Skyrim has that it uses. It's a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. 32 is not used. You want to set all these, so level 4, level 8, and level 16, you want to set them to full. So full is going to be all the way right there. This should be close to the start. You could do grid, far LOD. This is for dynamic objects. Usually those are models that move. You're going to have unchanged. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Okay. So let's say you have tried this and your meshes aren't being the high poly form that you want. You would go into your meshes folder. I'm going to kind of hide everything real quick. I didn't exit out anything. So like, let's say so dyndolod has trouble loading smaller objects, like let's say a barrel, right? Well, you're going to name your barrel, I'll show you this. And you have to do this to all the meshes that aren't loading or working. It can be tedious, but it's a quick way to do it. And it really doesn't take that long. So I'm going to go to Blue Star, what's going on? So let's say we go to our data. I'll show you an example of this. Meshes. So these are the LODs I've made, right? So these are the actual full models of those objects. I've just renamed them to be an LOD. I just took a copy of the meshes from my BSA folder that I had a copy of, and basically I just added this. So I would rename my mesh. You'd keep the whole name of the original file, but you do just underscore LOD underscore and then the level. So like level 1 is referring to your level 4 LOD. If you name that as a 2 or a 3, 2 goes to 8 and 3 goes to 16. The reason why it's asking that is, like, let's say you want to only load a certain distance for LODs. You can choose it down here, 4, 8, or 16, and only load those objects and those LODs named that. I'm trying to be a good teacher. We'll see I'm a bad teacher. No, I'm not. So basically, it's a quick way to get around playing with all these different rules. You can play around with the rules because it's a good way to learn how to use dyndolod, and it'll teach you. It can also be a quick way to load all of those meshes in that folder. But let's say you get frustrated and you can't deal with it, or you don't want to deal with it anymore, and you want to move on with your project. That's basically what you would do. You would rename your mesh just by putting underscore LOD underscore either a 1, 2, or a 3. I would put all of them, a 1, 2, and 3. And you could just copy and paste that to all of those meshes that you're using. So basically, let's say you open the creation kit, you write down or copy and paste all the names of the meshes that you're using, and you put them on a notepad or something, right? And then you type out underscore LOD level 1, underscore LOD level 2 and 3. you'd copy and paste that and just add those to those file names, and then you would have all those different versions of those LODs, and you would just do this. You would literally open up your Skyrim SE folder, go to Data, Meshes. I would create an all new file called LODs in here, or just LOD, and just drop your LODs in there. I have some organized in here, like this, right? Just for sakes. Like I have the entire Stockade kit in here with LOD level 3. So when I run dyndolod to scan for level 16, which is the level 3 LODs it's looking for, in the meshes data folder, it'll load all these as the full meshes because this is the LOD for that file now. So let's say we got that far finally, right? Let's say we got all of our rules. We have all of our meshes that we're going to use, renamed LODs that we're going to try to generate together. I know that, like I said, this is a long process to get set up, but it saves you so much time in the long run because it expedites any project that you're creating in the future. So, and you don't have to worry about trying to piece something together in like Blender or something. This program will generate the placement location from the creation kit of all your models, and you can import that into Blender and it will put together that model for you in Blender. It's pretty cool. And then you can just edit it right there. And it's good for like fitting or creating certain buildings to fit around so you don't have to keep jumping back and forth between the creation kit and other stuff. It's so much easier. So, alright. So after you've done that, you've already ran text gen. We're going to go to OK. Okay. I would put maybe max tile size LOD, max tile size full, whatever. Okay. You can run this. You can just click OK. Quick note before you go doing that. I want to show you something. So let's say we want something that we built, right? Like a shack or something specifically. Okay. Dyndolod's gonna load all of these meshes as lower res parts. Okay? It's going to try to. Some of it will. Let's say you don't want anything like that and you just want your tiny building that you build. Delete everything in this area. Okay? Just delete it. It's in your edited ESP for mesh creation. Okay? Delete everything except for your little file. It'll be okay because you're just using this for creating new meshes, this ESP, this mod per se. Okay, so let's go back to dyndolod. I know I'm backtracking a lot. So I'm going to run dyndolod again. Actually, hold up. I'm going to turn off. We're just going to grab. You know what? No, we're going to use this to create what I currently got. So we're going to generate the exit this. No. I'm going to generate. Oh, damn thing. Okay, I'm going to generate my mod stuff. I'll show you how this works. So currently I've been working on a mod. It's a giant Whiterun overhaul. Has like 60 plus mods, and this comes in handy because right now I'm going through an optimization process of condensing the amount of objects that the mod uses into bigger objects, so it has less to load in the game. I gotta drink some water, my god. So okay. This is going to take a minute to load. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we're gonna go to Tamriel, and we're gonna look at Whiterun, or not Whiterun. We're gonna look at Riverwood, because there's a mesh setup that I want from Riverwood, right? It should be. I deleted mostly everything already in this area, except for this. I want to export this massive structure that's nasty as a mesh. Like this will, something like this, since it's made out of so many parts, will bog down your NPC or your PC. If you have a lower running PC, okay, something like this. This is a great part of a mod. It's part of the Heart of Skyrim mod. Great mod and great architecture, great design. I love it. But if you have like a bunch of textures that are on top of this that are high res, it's going to slow your PC down, and you don't have proper occlusion running at the same time. Let's say I want this whole thing to be a 3D model, and I'm not joking. Like, I'm going to make this whole thing a 3D model, okay? I've deleted everything around this area that I don't want exported, except for some of the stuff there. Again, you just select it. Maybe I did delete it. I think I did. But yeah, so we want to export this, okay? So after you delete everything, save it. Okay. I'm going to exit out of this because I showed you what I'm going to export. You have to have your mod active. You only want that mod active. The reason why all this other stuff is active is because this mod requires these mods right now. But I need, see if I do this, it says it needs this mod to run. I need these all active because they're part of this mod. So these ESPs over here. Alright, so we're gonna run, I gotta do something first. So this is just for my sake, okay? I gotta clear something real quick. Let's say you ran dyndolod already. You need to do this too. So you need to go where you put the mod, dyndolod, I mean, which I put it in PC. So you're gonna go to dyndolod. You're gonna keep your text gen output, but I'm gonna delete my dyndolod output, which has all my LODs from when it first scanned. Okay. This process is this is the longest part of this process, actually. Just giving you a heads up. So I'm gonna run dyndolod, SSE. It's gonna run. You have your rules. You can save how you put your preset in and your rules down here at save, okay? But it should just have them already saved. This will also change. I usually click high and then I start creating my rules, my own rules, after I put it in high. This is your output and where your meshes are gonna be, your LODs are gonna be stored. It's gonna also create that file. So, I don't need tree LOD. I don't need dynamic LOD. I just want object LOD. I don't even think you need occlusion stuff. But I want this to just be set to null. Like, you can have an option where it's like that. Okay, so you can click that. Actually, I'm going to do, for the sake of this video, I'm going to do 16. It's only going to create the level 3 LOD source files at 16. And so basically, I'll do 4. No, I'll do 16. So like, let's say you want a smaller, the bigger that number is, basically, the bigger scan it does across the map. And those are going to be the file sizes you're editing and like messing around with. 4, well, you have to, it's a lot, you have to dig for your mesh in level 4, but 16 you usually find it pretty quick. I'm just going to do 16. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm just going to hit ignore because I'm not going to generate the tree LOD. This is going to take a minute. So if in the YouTube like video, I'm going to just jump ahead when I'm creating this. But while I'm waiting for this, how's my chat doing? Catch up with you guys for a minute. Thinking of getting Taco Bell. You know, Speedy, Taco Bell sounds pretty good right now. I'm not gonna lie. Do you guys, can you hear the music? Okay, good. Ah, no, I agree. I like the spooky tunes. So, for how you been? You're sick. What happened? Okay. Oh, my old self. Eyes are bloodshot. Why are they bloodshot? What'd you do? And horrible cough? Sounds like a cold. Hope you get better soon, brother. I tested myself 5 times, came out negative. Really? Huh. Oh, so it's still generating LODs. Like I said, this might take a minute. So I'll show you an example of the potential of this. Okay, so if I go to my projects, look at my large models. So here's a good example. I had all of these models exported, right? And now I can edit them in the placement that they were in the creation kit in Blender, because when I imported this file, I could edit them in their location they were in. So it's an already built mesh. And in Blender, if you watch tutorial videos on Blender, you can combine these, you can edit them, you can make them lower res quality, you can edit their textures now, and then you can export them again as a NIF, and then add collision to it. That's what we're going to get to once we finish this process with dyndolod. Should be here soon. So this is the craziness of this tool, being able to use it like this. And like I've been working on this, this model's almost done. I got a couple more things I got to do to it. Currently we're working on should be a cave model that I'm working on. It's in rubble. Oh, actually, maybe. Let's see. Mini cave, or mine mountain. There we go. Mine mountain is the current mesh I'm working on. It's just another example of what it'll look like. Dyndolod takes a, like, if you got a lot of the more meshes or the more objects you have that it's scanning, the longer it's going to take. That's just the name of the game for this. But it beats trying to place each individual like tiny mesh you put in. Like, it beats trying to place every single one of these slowly in this when you've already built it once. You don't want to rebuild your entire mesh when you can understand a general layout of how you put it into the creation kit. You could play it in the game, test it out. Is that how you want it to look? Then you can just optimize it by putting it into Blender. So you might actually be able to see some stuff. So let's say this should be almost done. We could probably look at the folder though. So where this is going to get generated to is going to be where you put your dyndolod at, right? I put it over here. Tools. Modding tools. Oh, I didn't put it there. Dyndolod. Output, meshes, terrain, Tamriel, objects. Okay, so it's very, very slowly creating these level 16. So it's gonna export these. Oh right, I agree, Blue. It helps out a lot. So like, it export these as, since I chose level 16, it's exporting these as a level 3. It's choosing all the meshes that are level 3 or that end with _LOD _ level 3 with the name of that file. It's exporting all those combined meshes and their layout basically in these BTO files. These BTO files are LOD files. So the 16 is the level, or how big the area that was scanned for the LODs. You could think of it in that way as well. And then the grid coordinates come after that. So the scan works off of a grid system. Around the Whiterun area, it'll be like a 0, 0. This is 0, 16, which you could get a general understanding of these by just opening them and kind of like piecing it together in a way. Like, let's say, this is going to take forever, but let's say I want to look at, I don't know, like this. Let's say I want to look at that file. I'm going to copy that while dyndolod's still scanning away. I'm going to create something new. I'm going to look at this real quick. Oh, that's awesome that it does now. But I'm going to paste this in here. So I have this BTO file in here, all right? Now I'm going to rename it. Now I'm going to just do this. Take that BTO, and I'm just going to put a .nif after it. There should already be a dot, but I'm going to put .nif after it. It's going to ask me if I want to rename this file. I'm going to click yes. Ugh, it didn't. Hold up. Let's just put it to .nif. It didn't take it. What the hell? Is it still being generated? It might be because it's still being generated. Oh, there it goes. That was weird. So, after I took that LOD file and I renamed it, and now I'm opening it. This is what I get, right? So this is the LOD file. All these are high detail mountain parts, right? So these models are stuck together. If you want them like that, you can have them like that. You can break these up though, and I'm going to show you how to do that. See, some of these objects, this is what happens when you didn't make an object an LOD, or rename it, or you didn't come up with the proper rule for dyndolod to scan it. It'll do something like this. It'll create a low version, a low res version of it. But if I click over here on this house is the full mesh that it scanned. It scanned the entire layout of this area. The entire layout. So like if I wanted to build something that fit perfectly around this in a 3D program like Blender, I can just upload this and I could build like a new structure that fits perfectly in this, or like a new house that connects two houses or something. Like this tool doing this creates so many opportunities. Or like let's say you built your new model in Creation Kit. You can now like delete everything around it and you have your one little mesh right there. Okay? I'm hoping this is almost done. Like, so I could show you the rest of this. Alright. So, there it goes, it's done. Speak of the devil. Save and exit. Okay. You guys are going to hate this. So, basically, let's say, I'm going to delete that. Let's say, like, after dyndolod's done, right? Actually, let me control V. I'll show you through this. So let's say after dyndolod's done, I need that model back, damn it. So let's say after that model's done, come on. Or dyndolod's done, and we look at our mesh. There's a couple issues wrong with that LOD now, right? So we renamed the LOD file. We now have a NIF where we have this massive model, this NIF file. It's huge. One of the first issues we come across is a lot of these meshes are combined like this, right? Now I could delete some of these parts by saying like control delete on that part, right? Like I can do that. That part will disappear, right? Well, some of these parts might be attached to the model that you want to edit. That's going to be an issue. The other issue is dyndolod deletes mesh parts of models that are under the terrain. Like, see this house right here? See how it's missing a mesh piece? Well, that's because this model was sitting below the terrain. It's just a dyndolod setting. So there's a way to change that. But it might delete parts of your house that were sitting below the terrain. You don't want that because it'll do it every single time you generate this. So there's a way to do that. But that goes into our next step. So again, I'm going to just delete that folder. That one's just using that for an example. Wait. Oh. I don't know what that was doing. Oh, I know what it was doing. Anyways. Okay. Was that? I'm just checking something. Alright. I know what happened. Alright, we're good, we're good. I'm about to freak out there for a minute. We'll go back to our dyndolod folder. So again, we're in our dyndolod folder where its output is, where we have all of our objects, our LODs, right? It generated all of them in the grid coordinates. Again, this is the Whiterun area. So we have all these files. I'm like, okay, you could search through these if you generally know your location of your NIF. Sometimes it sucks, but I mean, this tool, sooner or later you'll learn the grid layout because it stays the same. It's best to write out a grid layout, but if you put your model like around the Whiterun area, it'll generally be around like 0, 0, 0, 16, or 0, negative 16. It'll generally be in that area, within that LOD format or grid coordinate. This is the part you're gonna hate. So we're just going to delete our meshes. Yes. You're just going to delete your LOD files in that mesh folder. The reason why is we have to change some stuff about those. We're not going to use those meshes. But we want to keep this folder. You just only want to delete your meshes. It's important. It's imperative. You're going to go to Edit Scripts. And this, I'll tell you this. We're going to go to Export Tamriel. Okay. You're going to see where it says Remove Unseen Faces. You're going to set that to false. You're going to go to the next one down. It says Don't Merge Shapes. You're going to put that to true. There's a couple other settings you could play around in here with, but I think that's what we want in this one. You're going to go to File, Save. Now, your data is stored in here for all your meshes within the game that it's generated for LODs, okay? So every time you run dyndolod, it'll create a new export file. So every time you run dyndolod, you have to go in here and change those settings every single time. Because let's say you're creating a new mesh and you scan it again, those aren't going to be in there. But that's if you run dyndolod. There's another program involved in dyndolod. It's called LOD XGen that we're going to use to regenerate our meshes to where it'll keep those settings so the file's not, the INI's not deleted or changed, but it keeps all the scan files, but it will generate 3D models that have the mesh below the ground that exists, and they're not all combined. We're going to use the secondary program that's attached in dyndolod. But first I want to go and change export terrain underside is the next one. We want to remove unseen faces. We want to set that to false. And then you're going to save. You're going to go to File, Save. Okay. So after that's done, okay, see it says LARGE NIF. We're going to go up. Again, our meshes are gone in our export file. We've deleted the meshes in our export file. We've changed the export scripts. All right, you want to write that down because people forget that all the time, or I do. So after you do that, you're going to run dyndolod again with these following steps. It's very easy. And this time it'll go quicker. It'll go a lot quicker. You don't want to change any rules. You don't want to do anything. This isn't starting a whole new process or scan. So picture it like this. You run dyndolod the first time. It scans all of the data. And it understands where all the meshes are, right? Then you just throw away those meshes that you scanned, but dyndolod still holds on to all that data. You have to rescan every time you change your mod or create a new model in the creation kit. This is how it goes, and you have to change this whole thing. If you, like, let's say add a new part or you want to add a new object to this, you have to run dyndolod and you have to go through this process with this all over again. So after you've deleted your meshes, you just want to go to execute LODGEN down here at the bottom. That's all you're going to click. And it's just going to run LODGEN based off of the edited export files that we have. So you're not waiting this entire time for it to scan and create these texture combinations and such with dyndolod. You don't have to worry about that. It's just going to run through export your LODGEN. It's going to take a second. It's doing it right here. But it'll be a lot faster. It's generally about, I don't know, half the time. Again, I'm exporting a lot and at a higher level. So if you have this set to, like, I don't know, level 4, and you could choose the specific grid coordinate. So like when I showed you earlier, it said 16.0.16. You can choose that grid coordinate for that cell that you want specifically exported with LODGEN. Like you could pick it over here and then say, hey, I just want to regenerate this specific area, not all the meshes in the game again with LODGEN. You can just click it right here for that one specific grid coordinate. You could do 0 and then 16, and it'll do that one cell. Or you can do like a lower form of that and say, like, I want, this will be a smaller grid size, a very small chunk of that bigger mesh that we saw earlier. This will be a really condensed one. It'll be 1/4 the size of that. Actually, I think it'll be 1/8 the size of that. And then it has its own grid coordinates you could choose from that as well. I'm just doing 16 for a general view of like how much this can export. See, it's already creating these meshes. So again, this is a lot quicker. And this won't have something that'll pop up and say it's done. This will actually say it's done right here. And this will not be gray anymore. So you actually got to pay attention to when this one's done. But again, this is a pretty quick one. It'll take a minute. What if I got a monster left? I don't. So again, this is going to take a second. Hey, it's done. All right, told you it was quicker. All right, so it's done. All right, so just from here, just exit. Exit dyndolod. Don't worry about saving, just exit. We just ran LARGE NIF, that's all you needed, okay? So from there, we're gonna go into where our meshes were. Our output folder, terrain. You could create a shortcut to this on your desktop too. Trust me, it would help. I want to take, I don't know, I want to take, we're going to rename 00 to .nif. We're going to do that to that one. I want to look at 16 in here as well. I want to look at -16. So these are 0.-16. I want to name this a NIF as well. I want to look at 16. 16 -16 is another one I want to look at. Should be right here. Oh, this one. Rename. Okay, so we have these 4 files, right? Let me open Tamriel 00. So I have to figure out, okay, like where's this? I wanted to export this Riverwood fort thing that was in a mod, right? So we have to find it. That's the sucky part. It's not in here, but here's a good example of how crazy this tool is. I'll show you this. So here's all of my houses in the full model with all of the wall parts. They're not connected in their individual models. All of their attached models that have effects that go to them. Like everything, including the mountains, right? So this whole thing is going to create giant models that I can cut up and then have, you know, just it's easier to create a bigger model instead of having a bunch of small objects make it. This is a bit different though. There's something else we got to do to this. It's for lighting. So if you have a, let's say a giant model like this you're going to create, you want to chop it up a bit because of lighting. You can only have 7 different lighting sources on like a texture. It's a Bethesda thing with Skyrim. Otherwise, the texture apparently will start messing up. I don't know. I haven't had that issue before, but it's been a thing with other errors in mods. There's some research on it online. I'm not too in depth about that. But let's continue on our hunt for our Riverwood fortress that we want, because we want that model. That's a specific model we want. So yeah, you do have to search for it a little bit. It should be close by Whiterun though. I don't know why there's an ice cube there. It's definitely not in here. Maybe -16. I think it's in this one. Giant ice cube floating around. I don't know why that's in there. Ah! Oh, there it is. Look at that. There we go. There's our little fort. Check that out. So we got our fort, right? With all of its bells and whistles, parts and doodads and meshes all combined, or meshes that we need, right? And full access, just the way we need it. So if anything doesn't scan properly, you have to do this again. So you want to make sure you go through and you get all the meshes, or you have the right rules. That's the hardest part about this, is trying to make sure that it scans all the meshes correctly. If not, you can just upload that mesh and put it where you think it would be. So, okay, we have this file now, right? So we can't put this file into Blender until it's optimized at a lower resolution. So it's a 64-bit 3D file right now, NIF file. So I'm going to take this, copy this, exit this. I'm going to go to my conversion folder. I'm going to paste this. And it's a bit of a big file. This is going to take a minute, okay? This part takes a second too. You're going to run your Cathedral Asset Optimizer. You're going to have it again on TES 5. You're going to go to new. Oh, no. You're going to, not that. You're going to have it on TES 5. You're going to open directory and set it to the conversion folder. Go to OK. Click on Meshes. You could do necessary optimization or full optimization. You could do, then run this. And this, again, this is going to take a minute. Don't exit out of this. As if this says like it's waiting or it's going to take a minute, then let it, it's going to take a second for this to fully do this, because it's such a big mesh. That's why you either A, want to delete the stuff around it, or you want to export level 4s are the better ones, because they're smaller chunks of that area. Because this is converting all those meshes in that area to a old Skyrim, or what we call old RIM, or it's a 32-bit format NIF file, right? So while it's doing that, okay, we can jump ahead a little bit, right? So let's say that's converted. Like, it's going to take a minute. Let's say it's already converted. It's not, but let's say it is. We're going to have something that looks like... we're going to have something that looks like this. Basically, we're going to have our mesh. We want to upload it into Skyrim, or not into Skyrim. We want to upload it into Blender. That import's going to take a minute. If it's such a big file, it's going to take a minute for Blender to process that import. It could take up to an hour or 2 hours. I'm not even joking. For it to import. If it's such a big folder and your computer has low processing speed, it's going to take a minute. Don't exit out of it. Be bloody patient. Go watch a movie. Go do something. This work makes things a lot faster in the building process of a mesh, is the whole idea of this. So you're not rebuilding things all over, or you want to create large structures like this. So let's say you've uploaded that into Blender after it's finally converted. It's going to where is it? Right here. So I already have it. Oh yeah, I'm going to save this for my channel and I'm going to put it on YouTube for sure, Viv. Yeah, it's a slightly big file. Oh yeah, it's 6 hours. Yeah, exactly. If it takes 6 hours, yeah, a Blender file takes 6 hours to open, Blue. It's gonna take a minute. But so I already did this, right? I already have the fort. Okay. Now, when I finally got this into Blender, mind you, it Let me see here. It might be down here. It might be in here. It had a bunch of junk around it, right? It had a bunch of stuff I had to delete around it. So it's actually going to look something more like along the lines of this file. This is a different area that I exported a while back. So it's gonna be something that has a bunch of parts around it. It's not gonna be set on the origin because it's gonna upload into Blender in the area that it was scanned in from dyndolod and nifscope. So basically, this is a way to actually export all the 3D meshes in the game, in their location, into Blender and edit the whole map layout if you wanted to in Blender. Like, you can actually scan the entirety of Skyrim, the entire game of all of its static meshes, and then upload them into Blender and then put them into Unreal Engine 5 if you wanted to. Doing this method, you can do that. That's easy. It just takes a lot of time because of the processing it would take. But it's possible. But so I have these. This one's not in different parts, but I have all these meshes, right? And I deleted all of the parts around it, right? So I deleted all of the parts around it of the stuff that I didn't want, the mountains, the low-res stuff. And you want to go through and check this and make sure there's no low-res stuff. You want to make sure it's all high-res stuff. That's what you want. You want to delete the parts that you don't need. Like let's say I don't want that. I can just delete it. Right? And then you want to combine like the mountain parts that you want combined that are going to possibly have the same textures, possibly. It's just modeling stuff. Okay? So you finally have your 3D model in here. If you want to edit the vertices, you can do that by pressing Tab. It'll jump into this, and you can edit all the verts and model off of this as well this way. Blue's saying get a program to make a batch operation to use all the programs in the background of your PC. Do it all for you. Yes, that would be awesome. Do the whole process. So you can just watch a movie or sip tea or coffee in the background. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. But that batch would take a minute to run, that whole process, my god. But okay. So let's be real quick. So hey, it's done. So like that's done. Our model finally finished being converted. So let's say I want to upload that in the Blender, right? So let's say I want to upload that file that finally converted in the Blender. We're going to go to File, Import, NIF. We're going to look for our conversion folder, which is right here. And we're going to click on that 016. This is, I'm going to make this small. See, it's saying not responding. Don't exit out. I didn't exit out of it. I just minimized it. It's not responding because it's processing. It's still thinking. You can open another Blender window and just do your work on another model or something that you're working on while you're waiting for that to finish. Because that's going to take a minute. So I'm going to work on, we're just going to continue because that's going to take a minute to load. We're going to look at that Riverwood Fort. I'm going to show you some issues with this. Okay, so we have a NIF, right? And it's supposed to be in different parts. Okay, so when it exports like that using dyndolod, we have an issue. It's our materials. Okay, it chooses the right textures, but they could be low-res textures at sometimes. It'll be the right model, but they'll be low-res textures at times, or they don't have the right material or the right shading. Like, if I was to put this in the game, it might be too shiny or something, or it might have its own issues, and it'll look wonky or weird. It can. So you can look at its material right here, right? And since I know it's the Whiterun wall material, this is what I usually do. So the biggest reason you want to do this, let me say this first. The biggest reason you want to do this is, let's say you have these decals, right? So these decals, I've learned, have to be exported in a specific way, because this is a mask on here. There's a extra file thing that you add to this that hides that black on that texture, and it turns it to where you can just see that moss in game. But the thing is this mesh has to be exported in a specific way. If you want to export that mesh in a specific way, it's not going to export that way when it's in dyndolod, just by the material. You can just do this though. You can fix it very easily. I'm just getting to that point. So like, let's say we want to add that material to make it export properly in that way. We're gonna go back to that Riverwood Fort. I know it's a lot, guys. We're gonna click on the moss that would be on those Whiterun walls. I'm gonna go find one of those meshes, right? So let's say I have my model resources, my meshes. I have Whiterun wall we're looking for. It could be any Whiterun wall, really. We can use this one. I'm gonna copy this mesh, and I have to convert it. Obviously, I have to convert it. I'm gonna put this outside the folder, otherwise it's gonna try to convert it again, and we don't want that. Oh, here, we'll just create a new folder. Put this in this. Now you guys understand why my desktop got so messy so quickly. All the folders in this process. We're gonna use Cathedral again. We're going to open this directory in the new folder that's in that conversion folder. We're going to run this, turn it to a TES5. It's already done because it's a single mesh. Then we're going to be in here, right? So we're in our folder. We're going to import. You can import more than one mesh, by the way. We're going to go to our conversion folder, which is on our desktop, here. And our new folder, we want that one, import. That's going to pop in here. Just give it a second. It's in here, okay? You can move it by clicking on those arrows. We're going to drag it over here. I don't know why it looks like that. What the hell happened? Blue, what did you do? Why is it like that? That's so weird. I think it's because that was not the right one, maybe? I don't know what was wrong with that. That was weird. That's an error if I ever saw something. So we're just gonna delete that. You didn't see that, everybody. Let's grab a different file. I don't know why it did that. I don't know what I did. We'll just go to the city walls. I think that was a different, I think that was the animated file. I think that's what that was. And it didn't know how to handle that, maybe? I don't know. That was weird. Well, let's do this one. Paste. We'll run this again. It's already located there. Meshes. Oh! I ran it as a BSA on it, and that's why it screwed it up, I think. We're going to do full optimization on that one. Oh my god, I think that's why I messed it up. That could be it. Alright, we're going to go back to this. File, import, NIF, that. Import. God, that was bad. There it goes. See, now it looks the way we want it to look. Alright, it's an actual mesh. Okay, so basically, you could delete this once you're done with it, but I know where this mossy region is, okay? It's right here. That's the mossy region. If I look at the material, which is this red circle down here, on the right side, you can see that its material is Whiterun Wall Main Gate. That's the name of the material, okay? If I want to copy it, whatever. So it's in this drop down now, right? All we have to do, click on that mesh that you know is going to be the moss. See, it says 108 MT. Well, click on this little circular material drop down right here. Now go find that material that was on that moss one. You could write it in and find it that way too. What was it named? You can just do this too. Control A. Come on. Copy. No! Damn it. Control A, copy. There we go. Having a hard time here. I copied the name of it just to make it quicker. You can do a little search thingy down here. V. Click on that material. There. So that material is now applied to that mesh. It has the texture, what happens when you attach the, it's a mask effect to it. I could show you how to do that later, to that file, right? So you basically do all that, right? So now let's say I want to, for the simplicity of speed, I want to delete some stuff because I want to show you. You don't have to delete something. I'm just deleting some stuff so I can show you how to do collision next. Actually. I want to show you guys how to do collision next. I'm going to keep that here. So, alright. So we have our model. Let's say we have all the right materials applied to it. It's fully textured UV map. There's YouTube videos on that stuff. If I go into that, this video is going to be like 8 hours long. We don't need to do that. I want to get into collision. I want to cut this model up a little bit. So I want to, by the way, if you get this like disappearing effect, it has to do with the camera. Just go up here to view and you're gonna set this to a higher number. Like I'll go to 80,000 so I can zoom way the hell out now. That's just a reference. I want to edit this entire mesh though, so we're gonna tab into edit mode if it doesn't crash. Oh, nothing's selected, my bad. I'm being a silly guy. Yep, it crashed. That's one of the reasons you want to change the material, is sometimes it'll do that. Make sure you save your file. It's not bad. It just Blender crashes sometimes. If it crashes like that, because most of the time it crashes like that because all these meshes are combined. That's why you want to split them up the way I did with that other file. But I think it's still loading in. So yeah. So here, we'll just do this with a different thing. We'll exit out of this. Say that we've applied all of our materials. We've moved the meshes out of the way that we want, and we're at the point now, like our model, our 3D model is pretty clean. Okay, let's say we get to a point where we want to export it. We'll do the drawbridge that I made. Let's say we're at a point where we want to export this thing. Okay, this is a file I did in the past. So let's say we want to export this, right? As a NIF with collision and all that good stuff, right? Okay. So we have the proper materials added from like other models. We don't have weird materials and texture paths. We have the materials that we want. So the cool thing is when we attach those new materials through uploading the other models and just individually attaching them, it fixes the texture pathing for you, because that's the texture path connected to that material for that model, now connected to that. Okay, it just does that. So let's say like I want to export this finally. You'd go, there's a couple things you'd want to do first. Let me do that first. No, actually it's a good thing. It's a good practice. This is good practice. You want to look at everything, and you want to hit the M button. It's going to merge. It's not going to merge your parts necessarily together. It's going to merge the vertices that are apart, that are just overlapping. So you want to merge these. It got rid of 95 loose vertices. The other thing, you want to go to Mesh. You want to go to Clean Up, Delete Loose. There's a reason I want you to do that. If there's a stray vertice that does not make up a triangle, like just a, let's say just a vertice just hanging out, let's say just like right there, that's a vert, right? It can make your mesh, like make the game crash. Like the moment you put this in the creation kit, it can cause issues to where it can make your game crash. So you want to clean up loose, and it'll clean up loose stuff like that for you. Okay, you really want to do that. So we cleaned it up. We'll get out of edit mode. We have our parts. I want to file, export, NIF. I'm going to put this onto my desktop. I'm going to export it. This will take a quick second. And it'll triangulate everything for you. It'll run a modifier through and export it with the triangles. It'll run a modifier over it. So it'll break up square pieces or polygon pieces into triangles. It'll export it like that. Your model or part can't be over 30,000, I think 32,000 triangles. If it is, you can just break it up into smaller objects like this. There's ways to do it. Just look online. Or ask me, I'll tell you later. And you can export it in different chunks like that. And it'll still be in that NIF file. Like it'll be one model in that NIF file. That's going to take a minute. Another time-consuming thing. Another thing, it can only have one UV map. If you'd click on these green triangles right here, you'd go down the UV map, and if it has like multiple UV maps, sometimes it will. You have to look up here in the UV editing, choose which one is the correct UV map, and sometimes they'll have one that doesn't have anything at all. You want to delete that one. Make sure like your whole object's properly UV mapped though, if it isn't already. So I'm just going to exit out of this because I already have this object. Yeah, close. Hopefully that don't crash. Did it? Nope, that's still chugging away. But yeah, I already have that file exported already. It's right here. So I'm going to replace. So I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. And when I get back, I'm going to I'm going to actually show you guys how to do collision. And it looks like Blue set a tutorial on Discord for a better way to remap materials. Ooh, we'll have to look at that. I'll be right back, everybody. All right, I'm back. Okay, let me turn that back on. Put my music back in. Okay. So, all right, we're getting into collision. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna put collision on of how to do it with some pictures. Hey, appreciate it, Blue. We're gonna do collision on a complex object. I feel like everybody does quick tutorials on really simple objects, but I want to do it on a complex object for you guys. This is a complex object. It has multiple collisions, multiple effects, and different parts to it. Okay, don't mind that purple mesh. That's not going to be an issue. That's when it's purple like that, it means it can't find its texture. Its texture's in the game, it's just not active because the mod's not active. So its file pathing's messed up. Alright, so we're going to make collision on this entire thing to where you can run on the stairs, you can go up the stairs, you can go in there. We're going to do that. But what that entails is a little bit of work. So, is that done? No, that's still going. See what I mean? It's still going. That model that we put in Blender a while back is still being loaded. It's being imported. Like I said, it's going to take a minute. So my advice is create a new folder for this. Call it collision. I know my spelling. Just put it, I'm going to call it work folder. I'm not an idiot, I swear. I'm just tired. Put your mesh that you're going to put collision on in there, okay? Again, for this is 32-bit. This is a 32-bit file still. It's knee tri-shape. So it's not a current Skyrim, it's 32-bit. Old Skyrim. Okay? We're going to make a copy of this. We're going to do copy, and we're going to paste it right in that same folder. So you're going to have the drawbridge copy, and then you're going to have this. So there's a reason we did that. So if I go to NIF Utility Suite, right? I'm just reading something, guys. Give me something. Oh yeah, I know that blue. I think I know that. So we're going to go to chunk merge, right? So we loaded our .xml file in this earlier. We made our template, which is our barrel. This is where that comes into play. That has collision. It's right there. So we have all this figured out. So trying to remember, our target file, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be our target file we're gonna put as the main file. So we can like rename that as target if you want. I will actually keep these probably as if, but you could put target file and then you could put the copy as the collision file. The reason why that's, we're gonna rename this as collision. We'll just do it. Collision. Wow, X. Huh. Did I? No, that is right. Okay. And then this is going to be renamed as just target. Target. Let me read this real quick, guys, and we'll get back to this. Not that you need this, but I know a way to make only part of an object activate a whole object has collision. Oh, I'll have to get with you later about that, Blue. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, so we have our target file and our collision file. That's why we made a copy. So, the reason we did that is we have these materials down here in this green pane. I highly advise getting your notepad out or something to copy and paste these materials in. The reason why is you're going to use an assortment of materials and you're probably going to have to write them out in this. You might be able to copy and paste. So I want, if I can click on these, yeah I can, okay. So I want to look for like, I need a material for my walls. I'm going to use something called heavy stone, if I can find it. Heavy stone right there. So
Press Control, copy, Control V. Oh, that ain't gonna let me copy it. You mother. Okay, I have to type it out. So this is why you want to. So you have to spell it exactly like this, okay? Sky. I'll have to get with you in a little bit, Blue, after I finish this tutorial about talking about it. For sure, though, I do want to know how you do it. You want to spell it exactly like this. Sky have. Not to be mean, I'm just trying to focus just on this. Because if I get distracted and then go off tangent, I don't want to confuse somebody that watches this later. So you want to spell this out exactly like this. Sky have matte material, all caps, material. You have to make sure it's exactly like this, by the way. Oh wait, nope. See, I already messed up. Sky have matte heavy underscore stone. Like that. So Blue goes, you make a separate collision in a NIF and you tag one as an invisible wall that you want to note and be activated. It has a collision but won't have an activation. That's actually pretty cool. You can do that. Like, seriously. I didn't know you could do something like that. Have an activatable collision. Anyways. So you got one material. It's Sky have matte heavy stone. So that creates the effect like if you hit that wall, your weapon bounces off of it, makes a sound of it being stone, and it creates a spark effect. So you'll have that. We still need, let's say we need wood. We need wood stairs, so we're gonna, here's another one. So this is one thing I'll do. I'll copy this and I'll paste this so I don't have to keep retyping half of it. Sky have matte stairs stairs underscore wood. So what this one does, so basically if you walk on wood stairs or you approach them, you'll be able to walk up them properly. You're not just running straight into that file. Oh no, I appreciate it, Blue. I completely understand. I think people should be able to read that too if they rewatch the stream. So basically, if you run into these stairs, you start going up them. You start ascending them. Is the physics it's telling you to your character to do when you touch these stairs. If it doesn't have this collision on them, you get this effect where you're slowly trying to walk up them and you have to jump up them. They become like a block, a collision block. You don't want that. You want, if you run across a mod that has that effect with stairs, it's because this collision wasn't applied properly, or this effect. Also, if you shoot these wooden stairs, like let's say with a bow, the arrow will stick in them. So you need that collision. You need, I'm going to need stone stairs too. So what I'll do is I'll copy this, Control V, I'll put stone, and you can see all these in here. I need Sky have matte wood. So that's going to be have matte, copy, Control V, stone. We got wood, guys. What? Sky have matte wood. Again, make sure it's spelled correctly. There's gravel in here. There's ice in here. Sometimes if, like, let's say the Sky have matte stairs one don't work, you can have, there's another material, it's called Sky have matte stone as stairs. You can use that one too. I think that's for like if there's a boulder and you need to climb up it, or you need to be allowed to be able to climb up it. That one works for that. Distance saying it's here for others. By the way, Blue, I do appreciate the help. Example table bench and him and look and activate table when you sit on the bench, so you have to. I have to really look into that. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we need. I think we need metal next. Like a metal bar. So there should be a sky hazmat heavy metal. Hey, it's heavy metal. Joking. Don't judge me. Alright. Heavy metal. Heavy metal. Okay. So we have, I think, pretty much. Hey Viv, what's going on? No judgment. So we pretty much have all of these written down. The reason why I want them in a copyable format is because we're going to open up. Well, actually, let me see something real quick. Hey, it's done. Our NIF that we imported earlier that we were working on is done. We'll get back to that collision in a minute. I want to show you guys this real quick. So tool, view. We'll put it at 80,000. Look at this. So we have all of this stuff, right? But the cool thing is when we uploaded it this way earlier, you want to save it, by the way, right after it finally finishes importing. All these meshes are now like by themselves. So you can go in and edit each one now if you want, and it won't crash. So I'm going to freaking save this because this is spectacular. We're just going to save this on the desktop. I'm just going to do save as untitled, like G something. Untitled. Let's do that. So it's saved. I'm going to exit this because we don't need this. But I would clean this up. I would go through, delete all this stuff. So that way this is our mesh that's left. But we're going to get back to collision now. Okay. So I'm going to exit that because I don't need that. But okay. So we need, yes, close Blender. Okay, there it goes. After waiting all that time, I closed it. So we're going to go into our collision folder or file for the mesh that we want to put collision on. All right, this is important that you do this. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to File and click Off. You want to turn Auto Sanitize off before save. You want that off. You need that off. Again, it has to be off. Next, drop down. You want to start clicking on your parts, your mesh parts, right? So we have these parts. Like I have this. My stairs are separate. So you need to do this before you export this. You want your stairs and stuff that you're going to make climbable a separate object. You could separate meshes, kind of like how this is separated from the rest of the wood objects. Like that. So those stairs I didn't separate, but that'll be okay. Okay, so let me get on with it. Alright, so I'm going to take this, and I got to rename this as Sky Have Matte Stone. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that wording. I'm going to go to the text name right here. I'm going to paste this. Go to OK. Wait, did it? Text value. That didn't do what I needed it to do. I did do that right? Why didn't that rename? Usually it renames. That's the text value. Yeah, that's right. Pretty sure that's right. because you just can't click on it. Yeah, that was right. Okay, yeah. You rename the text just like that. Okay. All right, so you have to go down through this. I would go down each individual part, and you have to rename it by that material in here. Paste it. Okay. That is going to be that as well. Paste. Okay. It's a bit tedious. But this is what you do to get the proper collision. Because this is how this program recognizes it needs to be that effect on that collision. Alright. Paste. Okay. If you have one object that's made of stone, this whole process is a lot quicker. Alright, now we're at wood. So this wood has a ramp on it, right? Well, so usually these ramps would probably be separated from this mesh, but I'm just going to go ahead and put them as I'm going to put them as stairs wood right here. Sky have mat stairs wood. I have it saved up there. Go right here. Paste. Usually you'd have the ramp separate, so that way you just rename that one ramp as this, or the tops. You actually really want the tops. For instance, like, since the framework down here will be this type of collision, you can walk up this framework. So ideally you want this mesh disconnected from that mesh, so that way you don't like walk up a vertical piece. And I'll show you that in game. So that's why you want to divide all this the proper way, so you're not walking up a straight surface. You want to just be able to walk up this stuff. So next is going to be that. I just want that to be wood. So that one will be wood. Control V. Okay. This will be stairs as well, even though that should have been separated. Stairs is wood. Copy. Okay. Oh, I won't do that. Alright, this will be wood as well. You can go through each one of these and do like all wood. Oh wait, that's stairs as wood. I don't want that. I want just regular wood. This one. Copy. Control V. There. That's just gonna be wood. Next is gonna be wood. That's just gonna be stone. Heavy stone. This is gonna be just, that actually should be stone stairs, so that one we'll put as stone stairs. Copy. Control V. This is gonna be stone stairs again. That's just gonna be stone, it looks like. Stone right there. Control copy. Make sure there's no spaces after this that get copied either, because that'll mess up that too. Again, you're gonna click on this mesh, go to the text thingy right here, click on that, that window will pop up, and you paste that, and it'll rename that. So those are gonna be stone. You can also do this too. You can search for it down here, but I find it just easier just copying and pasting it just because it's already there. Wait, that? Okay, that's right. Okay. By the way, if you mess this up, yeah, just make sure you save the files. Don't delete it. Keep these collision files in case you have to redo this. Otherwise, it's a pain in the dick. That I want to be metal. That little piece right there is metal. It's not heavy metal, but I just want the metal effect. Wait, that was stone. I need metal. Control Z. Control copy. Control V. See? I almost messed up. We're almost done. That's going to be metal as well. Those are going to be metal. I could have combined those and made those like one file to where they would have been just metal. It would have made things a little bit faster, but that's alright. What are those? We'll just make those gears. Yeah, that's metal. That's definitely wood. It's a bit of a tedious process doing this. It really is. Are there two files that are weird? Control delete. Huh. That was weird. You might want to save this too. Just give you a heads up. That's rope. We're just gonna put that as stairs. Or stone or wood. Even though it's not. Just for quick. We're gonna put that bracket as metal. That's gonna be wood. You guys having fun yet? You tired of me saying wood, metal, wood, metal, wood, wood, metal, stone? That's stone. Zofra's yes. Welcome to my life of making this mod for the last 2 years. It's exactly what I go through. We're just gonna find this, and that's gonna be stone. Oh, heavy stone. That's wood. Actually, hold up. Is that the framework? Let me see if that's the framework. I think that's the framework that has the stairs connected to it. Yeah, I want that to be stone, or I want that to be wood. I want that to be wood, stairs, so those ones. That needs to be wood as well. Almost there! That's metal. It's the railing on the windows. That's wood. 4 more. That's wood stairs because it has stairs attached to it. That's wood. That's wood. The reason they're split up like that is because it had too many tries, too many polygons for it to export. Done. Okay, I'm gonna file save. So the whole thing's named, right? That's the good news. All right. So we got an entire file that's named. Cool. All right. Now, I'm going to minimize this. I'm modding and listening even though I'm playing. I'm having fun. I appreciate the support though. So we're going to open our target file directory and we're going to point it at this file, which is on our desktop. We're back in the NIF utility suite, by the way, in chunk merge on that tab. We're going to click work folder. Not that work folder. This one. Target. Open. Collision is going to be this one. Open. You have it on, when it says collision material, you're going to have name of tri-shape. So that's why we went through and we named each one of those tri-shapes. Oh, let me do something real quick. Actually, no, it should be fine. That's why you went through and named all those tri-shapes, because it's going to put a collision that is attached or associated with that name of that tri-shape. Okay, so we're going to just hit add collision. It's going to process. Havoc system returns error. Wonder why. Wonder what happened. Collision data added successful. Yeah, but I got errors. That was weird. I got errors back. Well, we'll see. Usually those don't pop up. So I don't think my collision got added properly, but we're gonna see. Usually those yeah, my collision got added. Weird. It might have been like multiple files. That might have been why. So originally this model didn't have this red. It looked like this. So originally our model, like if we would have clicked on this red thing, it doesn't pop. Like we don't have any type of collision. There's no collision file over here. So that we have collision now. So our product has collision now. Now there's just a few more things we got to do and this will be game ready. So first thing is we want to see it's in a group, right? It's in knee node, right? There's our collision. All right. If we were to put this in game right now, we would still be able to walk through this. Even though this collision exists, we have to make it associate with these mesh shapes. So there's a couple things we need to do. First off, we need to go to block. Actually, it's going to be node, attach parent node. Look for BS fade node. You're going to attach that. You're going to go to knee node where we were just clicking on. See how it's now underneath. It's a drop down. You're going to click back on knee node and you're going to right click on it and you're going to go to block flatten branch. It brings all of that stuff outside of that folder, that group. And there's nothing in this knee node. Actually, there is. Block flatten branch. Actually, why? That should be fine. I should have gotten rid of this before. That's probably why the error popped up, because it's in this knee node group. It should be fine still. Let me go to block remove branch. Oh shit, hold up. If you mess up, this is a good opportunity. I just messed up, all right? I didn't save yet. So as long as I didn't save, I can just go to File, Reload. So it reloads the entire thing. So let's do that again. Block, node, parent node, BS fade node. All right, then I'm gonna go in here. I could do this. I could do block, and I can just go to remove. But if I do that, now all this stuff is outside of this BS fade node. So that's a bad thing. We don't want that. We want everything to be underneath this BS fade node. So again, it's messed up. So I'm just showing you guys a few things. Dang it, Shane Ryder, quit messing up. All right, BS fade node, block parent. We want attach parent node, BS fade node. Again, it's under there. I'm just gonna leave it in the knee node. It doesn't matter. You can leave it in there. It can be out. Technically, I want the BHK object, collision object, outside of this. So I should have technically attached this BS fade node before I made a copy of this to make the collision data. So like way back here when I started this whole thing, I should have put this in a BS fade node and deleted the knee node with having everything. Well, it should have been in this steps. It should have been attach BS fade node to the knee node, flatten knee node, and then everything that was in knee node would have been moved outside of it. And then you could have just removed knee node, deleting that, saved it, made a copy, then did all your collision stuff. Then your BHK collision data would be outside of that, which I think there's still a way to do it. Oh, I didn't save. Block. Insert. Actually, can I just do no, block node attach? Wait, can I do insert? No, I can't do it that way. I was checking something out. So node, attach parent node. Again, BS fade node. I didn't save. We're just gonna save. Okay, I'm gonna save there. The next thing we got to do is we're gonna go to BS fade node. We're gonna click on not flags. You're gonna go to attach extra data. Actually, I'm gonna do it on this just in case. So we're gonna just go extra data. We're gonna go to node extra data to that. We're gonna click on BSX flags. This is what I believe connects your collision to your mesh to say, hey, there's collision on this, listen. So now we're clicked on BSX flags, all right? You want to click on this tiny little flag down there, and you want to say, hey, this is complex, or it's dynamic. You can also put havoc. I usually put like havoc and dynamic usually, except it's not animated, so, but yeah, I usually put those. There's a couple different ones. I have to figure out all these, but I usually go with dynamic and havoc. The reason why is, like, if you want, you can actually look at like one of these other models have in your in your resource folder. Like, we can look at one of these real quick to get an idea. All right, we'll look at high rough, not the door, damn it. We're gonna look at okay, Whiterun. Like, if we go back to Whiterun, we'll get the buildings. We'll look at oh, these are buildings. I want walls. We'll look at we'll just look at a straight wall part, right? We'll look at this. So we can see it's BHK collision. It's BSX flags over here. We'll click on that flag, and it's just got havoc and complex. You know, that's it. That's all you need. So we'll do that same thing. We're just gonna do havoc and complex. Fuck. How many of these do I have open? This one. Instead of dynamic, we'll just do complex. Accept. We'll do file, save. All right. So this is done. No, don't save on that one. So that mesh that says target is done. It has collision. I'm going to just rename it to that file name that I had earlier. The next thing, the only thing we got to do, so if I wanted, I could put this into Legendary Edition Skyrim, you know, because it's still 32-bit. This is literally the last thing we have to do. I'm going to put this in the conversion folder. I might delete that. I'm going to put this, paste. That's our finished mesh. We're going to exit that. Exit that. We're going to say, hey, all right, I want to turn this into a 64-bit file. We're just going to go through, go to Configure Asset Optimizer again. It's already set to that folder. We're going to click on Meshes. We're going to say Full Optimization. We're going to say Profile. This is big. Profile, not TES5. It needs to be SSE. All right. Then we're going to say Run. Has encountered the process. Oh, that's a wrong folder. Wrong folder directory. So give me a second. Open directory. Conversion folder. New folder. Select folder. All right. Profiles SSE. That's on the right folder directory where this mesh is located. I have full optimization. Process meshes. I'm going to run it. Done. And now, if I go in here, it's going to take a minute to load because it's a big mesh. I'm going to click on it. It's going to say BS try instead of knee. It says BS try shape instead of knee try shape. Don't worry about that knee though. That's kind of like a group folder type thing. I forget what that's for, but it's not going to cause any issues with this. So this mesh, I could literally put it in the creation kit now. So that, yeah. And to do that, this would be like the last part of this. Because I built that with dyndolod. I optimized it in Blender. I did all this stuff. Now it's a fully done mesh. I want to put it in my mod. How do you do that? I'll show you how you do that. So let's say I'm gonna turn all these off, right? I'm gonna go through and deactivate these real quick. Disable selected. I said disable selected. No, come on, you. There it goes. Disable selected. There. Okay. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to run my creation kit. Let's say I want to create a new mod. Okay. So I'm going to open Skyrim. I'm not going to go into my big mod that I have. I'm going to show you how to create a new ESP and add something completely new. All right. So I'm going to literally create a brand new mod really quick. It's not going to be anything special. Just to show you how to put a new mesh into the creation kit. I'm going to go to Whiterun. We're going to go to actually we're going to go to Tamriel, World Space. And I want to go to Whiterun, which I wish I remember the grid coordinates because I have to do this all the time. Okay, there we go. Alright, we're in this area. Whiterun's going to pop up. It's going to populate. Give it a second. We're replacing this model. So that's what this is for. Let's say I edited it. I added this model and I completely made a new one. All right. Well, if I'm going to put something new in right here, what am I going to do with the old one? If I delete it, it'll cause errors for other mods. So what you do is you go in, you click on that, and you click on initially disabled. But if you do delete it, don't fret because you can run a cleaning script with SSE edit. It'll do that same process. When that cleaning script goes through your mod after you deleted a bunch of stuff, it'll restore those deleted objects, and it'll also put that disabled flag that I just did on that model for your mod. That's how you clean them. And it also tells you if you have deleted nav meshes. So I'm going to hide that. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to do the same to this. This is going to be initially disabled. I'm going to hide that. Then next I'm going to go through and just for quick sakes, I'm going to select all these. To select multiple objects, you're just going to hold down Control. I'm going to go through, select all these. To hide them, you can press 1, but I'm going to keep selecting them because I don't want to hide them. Because they'll still exist there, even if I hide them. It's just a way to, like, oh, I need to see through something really quick. We're going to lower these. I'm going to put these underground. Just to quickly get them out of the way. Same with this. Same with this. Same with this. Same with actually that can stay. Alright. So I have this ESP where I've done a little bit of editing and stuff now, right? I'm going to go to save. It's going to pop up like this. You're going to name it. This is going to be test, I don't know, 5. Okay. And it's going to save here in your data folder. I'm going to click save. But it's not going to save there. It's going to save through Mod Organizer. So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to go down to my overwrite folder, and it's right there. That's the ESP. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to say, hey, create mod. Name this mod test, I don't know, 5. Alright. It'll create a folder right there that has your mod in it and your ESP. So now when you click on that box, it'll activate it for you. I'm going to activate it. I'm going to run Creation Kit again. Wait. Crap. I messed up. Don't run Creation Kit yet. We're going to go and take our mesh. Copy mesh. And then we're going to go to Mod Organizer, find our mod, right click on it, go to Open and Explore to where it's located. It's going to give you the location where it's at, right? So where the ESP is, we're going to right click, create new folder, because you have to do this. You're going to type in meshes, because this will input this in the meshes folder for the game folder in the data folder, so it knows where this is located, so you can input it in the creation kit. You have to do this. You have to type it out in meshes. And then you could put like, hey, it's in my Shane Writers folder. You could name that next folder whatever the hell you want. If you want, paste it. It's right there. Unless you're trying to replace something in-game, then you just copy that entire file path with that same name of that mesh, but we're not doing that. We're going to exit that. I'm going to refresh Mod Organizer. Now I'm going to run Creation Kit. Now I'm going to open my mod. I'm going to click on that, but I'm going to set active. Set as active file, because we're editing that mod. It's not Skyrim. It'll activate Skyrim 4 because it's a requirement. Technically, you're supposed to do like update Skyrim and like the DLCs, but we're not going to do all that right now. I'm just next trying to show you how to input this in here. This is a long tutorial. So we're going to go back to that area where we were, where we disabled that drawbridge, right? We're going to do that. I'm just looking for it. Come on, Whiterun. There we go. Whiterun exterior 1. Now, so, alright. we're back over here. You can press F5 to get everything to refresh the scene and load everything quicker. That's one way to do this. All right. Now this stuff isn't this stuff isn't deleted. It's disabled though, meaning it's still going to show up, but it's initially disabled. But if you play the game, it's not going to be there. So I want this window open for a specific reason. I'll show you a reason why here in a minute. But let's add this mesh. This is how you add this mesh to this mod. You're gonna have your object window open. If it's not, you're gonna go to View, and you're gonna click on Object Window, and it'll pop up. You're gonna click on Static. You're gonna right-click in this area. You're gonna you're gonna go to New. But if that window does not pop up, because sometimes it doesn't, you can go to Edit. Delete that, just erase that, and go here, and I'll show you. You're not overwriting that as long as you rename that. It'll create a new form, but we're just going to go to New. Okay, so I want this to be New Drawbridge, or no, I want to put it as the same name of the file I'm going to put in. We'll get it here in a minute. So we're going to go to Edit. We're going to go over here. We have to go to Shane Ryder's folder, the one folder that we named. We're going to rename this because I want to grab that mesh name. Okay. Open it. There's our mesh. I'm going to go to OK. I'm going to put my ID, name of my mesh right there. I am going to just hit OK and pray to God it doesn't crash. And it didn't crash! Oh my God! Woo! Go up to Filter, paste that name, and it'll find your static mesh. You drop it in, which is freaking huge, because my mod is freaking huge. It's not what she said. It's already fairly somewhat close to where we want it. It takes a little bit of playing around. But a quick way to do this is if your mod shares the same origin point as the original mesh, which it's hard to do, but sometimes you can do it. But luckily this program does a lot of that work for you sometimes. I'll just show you this way. We're going to just do it this way instead. So I have my mesh, right? I'm going to try to get it to line up. A good way to do this is to just watch where it starts to clip and change, right? So like see how it just kind of like, hey, changed a little bit because of the texture. All right, so it's around the same location. I want to move it this way now, just a little bit. So I'm just showing you this quick way. You might have to like twist it, turn it, because sometimes these don't line up, because sometimes you delete or change a lot of stuff. I'm already seeing an issue with my mesh that I gotta fix for future stuff. So I think it's right around the area I want it to be. So I gotta fix that. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but I don't need to fix that right now, okay? So the other thing too is I didn't add the file that makes that invisible. Basically you would, let me save this real quick. I'm gonna save. So that's saved. My ESP is saved. This is in game. It's freaking huge, I know. Actually, I think it's backwards. It is backwards. It's supposed to be this way. Oh my God. It's supposed to be this way. My bad, guys. I was like, oh, I'm almost done. I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not. My mesh was backwards. Wow, that's embarrassing. There. Alright, now I'll save. Now it's in the right rotation in place. Oh my god. Anyways, I'm going to exit out of the creation kit. I can do this after I've already edited that mesh and put collision on it, so it won't be that hard. So let's say you want to get rid of that blackness with the moss, that mask effect. You want to create to where that mask isn't there, right? I'll show you how to do that real quick. So that's this, right? We want to edit that. So basically what we're going to do is you're going to take a file that has that same moss or has that same masking effect. I'm going to go to Whiterun. It doesn't matter what, just as long as it has that moss, it'll work. So like I think I need the walls. I think cap curve does. Curve has it. Alright, so I have this. I want my moss to look like this. The reason why it looks like this is because it has knee alpha property. That little thing is what my model is missing. So basically all I have to do, I have to have both of these windows open, right? So go to block, copy branch. Then you want to click on this tri-shape, block, paste branch. Check that out. We got moss without the, well, it's masked properly. Now, I believe there's another one over here, but I'm not entirely sure. There should be, I think there's another one. I thought there was another one. I swear. I'm not crazy. There's one more moss one on these battlements. See why this is such a pain. Did I get it already? Huh. I guess that one got deleted by accident somehow. Anyways, so that has a mask on it. Right? Cool. Well, what about this stone? These stone decals, it's the same thing. But we need to find that model that has those stone decals. Real quick. What I mean by stone decals, I'll show you. Whiterun. Not buildings. So those stone decals are on Watergate. Actually, I think they are on the Watergate. Nope, they're not on the Watergate. Tier divide, they're definitely on this. So the stone decals are these things, right? For the corners. Same thing. Just block, copy branch, block, paste branch, and it should pop up. There they go. So those will pop up in game. They're being a little buggy right now. But basically you'd go through your entire mesh and do that to the right decals. That's why you want the right material assigned to them. Because if it's not, it won't properly do that. You want the same material that these have. Let me get off of here. Alright, so I'm going to save this. And it's, you don't need to update your ESP. Don't worry about that. That mesh is saved. But here, we can finally do this. I'll open up the mod that we created, the new mod that we just made. We'll go into Skyrim. We'll run it. Our mod is active. Just want to make sure that's active. Zofrez, even though I'm playing, I'm having fun. What are you playing? What are you playing? You watching me? Go insane. I want to just test my mod. I don't want to start a whole new game to test my mod. So a good way to do that is you can look up for these COC commands online. So to do this, you just do the tilde key in the corner. It'll pop this window up. And you're going to do, we want to go to Whiterun. So I'm going to do COC Whiterun, because I already know this by heart by now. Whiterun. And this will teleport me in a game testing file. Save file. It has no mods installed. So you don't have to start a new game every single time you want to test your mods. So we'll head there. Now, if you can't see, like I can't see my 3D model from here because it has no LOD. You could click a little tab in the creation kit in that edit menu for 3D data. There's a flag that says full LOD, and it'll make it to where you can see it from a distance if you don't want to create an LOD for it. Or you could run dyndolod on it and it'll create its own LOD. That's an option too. I don't want to deal with that. Our mesh loaded. See, now the other thing is I could see I did miss that the masking. For some reason that masking didn't load right. And I bet you it's because it doesn't have the proper material on it. Because that blackness is still on there. Because like I said, I probably missed that when making the mod. Same with that. Even though I put that node on there, it probably has the wrong material. So I have to go into Blender and fix that. If you don't want to run out of stamina. Oh, TGM. True. I didn't think about that. Thanks, Viv. Alright. So technically, we have this mesh. We haven't even interacted with this thing yet. We don't know if it'll work. So let me hit it. We do have an issue. See, I could... Guy. We have an issue. So I can run in and out of this thing. It has 0 collision. That's bad. It's really, really bad. Alright. So, I mean, it gives us a good opportunity. The reason why this doesn't have collision, and I'll tell you right now, I already know the answer, is that effect. So we don't have to start all over, but I'll show you how to fix this. Alright, so we need to edit that mesh. There's a quicker way to do this. So, a quick way to do this. Try to think. Open and explore. First, let me explain why it's not working. It's not working because it's in this knee node. It's underneath. It's in all this stuff. It needs to be outside of this group. This does to work. That's what's going on. I'm going to just do that just in case. So it has to be under just this. So let's do this. We're going to flatten this node, block, flatten branch. Alright, and then next we have to get these outside. I'm going to delete this BSX flags by control delete because we're just going to create a new one. I'm going to open up another file to do this. So I'm just gonna grab like any model, any 64-bit 3D model, right? Because I can't remember how to properly attach this. Like I might be able to say node attach parent node. Wait, what's file offset do? Nope. How do you move this up in hierarchy? Can I do that? Crop down, move up? Nope. File, block, let's see. Not crop to branch. Node. Fuck it, we'll just do this. Copy branch. It'll copy that whole hierarchy. I'm gonna click over here. I'm gonna paste that branch. Paste that into. Oh, crap. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Let me do block node. Attach parent node. God, I hate when that thing pops up. Block insert. Knee-node. Where is knee-node? Knee-node. Just knee-node. Okay, we'll just do this. Node. Parent node. Knee-node. So everything is under this now. I'm going to remove branch and block remove branch. Noise and block to see it was your PS. That's funny. Do you know how to bump up hierarchy? Like I want to move this into a higher hierarchy. It's not move up or down. Wait, what if I go to block, copy branch, block paste branch? Will that work? Oh, that worked. Never mind. That worked. But how do you do it anyways, Blue Star? I'm just waiting for a reply back real quick, guys. But that did work. Just copying it and clicking on that and pasting it. It's down there now. It's a section called Children. You type in the ID number. File. Would it be under Children? Huh. I'll have to research that later. In the bottom left panel. Under the block details, header. If you click the fade node, then look. Fade node. Oh. Okay, so if I click on knee node, Well then, it'd probably be like file offset. No, I'm just gonna block, move branch. So it's right here. You can retype the number to order them. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But I copied branch and just pasted it under fade node. Make sure it's still there. Okay, I still have the collision. Block. Flat. I want to attach extra data. Number of children were to just, which makes empty slots for you to add something. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that, so I learned something new today. BSX flags. Click on it. We want Havoc, Complex. I'm going to click Dynamic just in case. That all looks correct. Tree shape. Why does it say tree shape? Anyway, save. Alright, let's try this in game one more time. See if we fixed our issue. COC. Void run. Survival mode. You can set the number of children. I'm just reading something real quick, guys. It's something. I didn't know you can do that with scope. Oh my god. Okay, so this is why you keep your previous meshes, is when stuff like this happens. So we're going to do this real quick, all right? So I opened up, it crashed because that mesh is corrupted. So I still have my pre-existing 2 work files. So this has this collision on here, but we're going to delete that. So we're just going to delete the collision off of this. And we're going to collapse this knee node, flatten branch. We're going to delete the knee node. So now everything is under knee fade node, right? We're going to save that. And this is our your target one originally. Then we're going to go into the collision. Okay. This is the one we went through, and we. Oh, give it a minute. Uh-oh. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, this didn't have collision. Okay, we're good. My bad. Okay. So we're going to fix this. So this is our one that we've named everything in. Again, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to attach knee node, parent node, BS fade node to that. We're going to flatten that within that, flatten branch, and we're going to remove that. So this, save. This is now the same as this, right? But there's no collision now, so we have to recreate it really quick. Because the way that was set up, it's causing an error. Okay, in file, oh, wrong thing. Let me slow down. Chunk merge, target file is going to be this. Open collision file. is going to be this. Open. Let me make sure this is correct. That's correct. Template. That's there. That is correct. Okay. All this is correct. Now let's see if we get the same error that we did last time. That clicked on name of knee tri-shape. It's processing. Havoc system error. Compound collection compressed mesh. HK compression. Builder ratio. Huh. Was it too big? I don't think it was too big. I never get those errors. It says collision data added successfully. Let's see if this one works, I guess. So, we got our collision back. Okay. It's all under there. We're going to add our flag. Oh, not that way. My bad, guys. Block, node, extra data, BSX flag, Havoc, complex, dynamic, good, file save. I'm going to exit this. I'm going to copy, well, yeah, we're going to copy this back into our conversion folder. Paste, overwrite this. Convert this back to a 64-bit, 32-bit. Meshes run. It's done. Grab it. We're going to go to our folder where that model is for our mod. Open Explorer, Meshes, and we're going to just paste it in there, replace it. Alright. Now let's run the game. If everything worked right, it shouldn't crash. Let's see. Origin. We'll go there instead. Sometimes things don't go as planned. This is how it is. Alright, so we'll go out. Didn't crash. Hey, it worked. See that dust when you hit the wall? Alright, so our mesh worked. It was that knee node extra data that we didn't need. So our mesh works in game. Let's see if we can walk around it and traverse it now. Okay, it has that dust effect. We'll hit metal. See what I mean by effects? That's what I mean. I knew I knew how to do that. Alright, so let's check the stairs and stuff like that are the biggest hurdle for stuff like this. So, alright, cool. We go up those stairs without glitching or stopping. We go up those stairs without stopping. That's good. Those stairs. See, I'm already seeing things I need to work on. So, the biggest thing, it's a trial and error, because sometimes you'll see things you need to fix in your mesh. Alright? Is this wood? I think it's wood. Let's look up weapons, longbow. Let's see if our arrows stick. They do. So that's definitely wood. Is this wood? That's wood too. See, our arrow's stuck. So our entire mesh works. And that is the end of this tutorial. Like that's it. Now you can go through, add your own custom 3D models. Yeah, do what you want. I can go all the way up here. I definitely see some things I need to edit on this mesh though. But yeah, that's the end of this tutorial. Obviously that's I can't go past that. You're welcome for me being professor today, Viv. I appreciate it, you hanging around. I know it was a bit of a long tutorial, but it all pays off. It's pretty cool to actually get your own created stuff in game. Like, it really feels good. Again, this mesh is going to be part of my current mod coming out. I got to work on it a little bit more, but this will be part of the City of Walls mod. But yeah, and thanks Blue for the advice. I appreciate you hanging out and hanging around. One of the things I gotta correct is the decals, but yeah. I wonder if I could climb up this. Remember I was talking about earlier how I applied stairs? Check this out. It might not work actually. Oh, it won't work. It didn't. Oh, kind of worked. See, I kind of like jump up a little bit, or I walk through it. So the reason why is because this is connected to that wood that has the material, the stairs material on it for physics. This, I appreciate that, Viv. This is a pretty, I try to be pretty thorough about this. As thorough as I can get. The guard looks confused, kind of like looking out at the wall. So nav mesh, you would have to nav mesh this entire thing. That's the thing about that though too. Shoot a guard. He didn't take an arrow in the knee, did he? I wonder if he can make it up here. It's too big. I just come give us a flight view. Oh, I could do that. TFC. I could show you a flight view of it. That's just that one 3D model in the game. I'm just testing it out. Has broken parts right here. Good stuff. So funny, something funny. See these guys, how they stop right there? They won't climb those stairs. The reason why is because there's no nav mesh up here. So they can only go so far. Watch, I'll go up here a little bit. See, he's only able to go so far. Damn. Well, that is the end of my gaming career, apparently. But that is how you get your own working mesh and your own mod, and I hope to do this tutorial again with creatures. My next biggest challenge is I'm looking at how to create custom skeletons, custom animations, custom behaviors with your own custom creature mods. It is possible, from my understanding, but there's a long work process with that. So I hope that to be my next large tutorial. This one I think turned out to be around 3 hours, which isn't too bad. You'll learn quite a bit. You learn where the links are and stuff I'll include on YouTube when I edit this video. But thanks guys for watching tonight. I'm going to get off and get some food because I am hungry. I am starving. You guys have a great night, and thanks for watching. Oh, survival training. Thanks for the follow, by the way. See ya, Origin. You have a good night, too. I appreciate it. It's going on 1 here, so I need to sleep.